Good morning everyone and welcome back to my garden. For any new viewers to the channel, a very warm welcome. My name's Diane and I garden here in the northeast of England, and my videos are just generally me pottering around my garden, sometimes my sister's garden, doing jobs. But the topic of today's video is, what do you do with your autumn sown seeds that are just refusing to germinate? So I've sown a number of packets of seeds already, and I've had a great success rate with them, all of them, except my sweet peas have germinated and they've been sitting there for weeks. So I've got nothing to lose. I don't think anything's going to happen to them if I just leave them as is. So I suspect it's because it's too cold here. I've just looked at the thermostat and we are 6 degrees centigrade here in the northeast of England today. So really, really chilly. And just as I've got my electric blanket out now, I thought, you know, I'm going to get my heated mat out. And I've had it for years, and I'm going to give those seeds some bottom heat and try and kick-start the germination process. So I'll take you into the greenhouse now and I'll show you what seedlings are growing and which seeds have germinated. So we'll have a little look in the greenhouse, see what's happening in here. Right, so these are all wallflowers, mainly white, but this tray here is yellow. I've got some autumn-sown growing there as well. And then try not to swing it around too quickly. I've got them up here on the little shelves. These ones here are white wallflowers as well, just at a different stage. And these ones are wallflowers that I'm not sure what the colour is. Down here I've got some little seedlings. These are snapdragons, so antirrhinums. And what else? Right, I'll show you the seeds. All of these seeds have germinated in the last, I would say, a week. These ones came up first, the autumn-sown, and these are cornflower the bride, which is white, because I have a white garden, a little white garden out the back of my house, and these are white honesty. So these two didn't do anything, and then all of a sudden in the last couple of days they've sprouted up like that. So these are all flowers that, if you read the seed packet, it'll say plant them early spring, but I know from experience that you can start them off in the autumn, and it just adds another layer of interest to your winter greenhouse if you've got seedlings coming up. Oh, I've just spotted another tray up here. So what are these? Marigold, Scarlet, Sophie. So they're lovely and healthy, so they all need pricking out, and you need to prick them out when they're no bigger than that size there, because they'll all be developing roots down there and you don't want them to get all tangled and root bound in your seed trays. Right, but all these little pots here, these are just, you know, when you buy pre-made salad and you get them in a tray like that, I keep those, and they'll either, if you punch holes in the bottom, you can use them as seed trays, or you can keep them like that and use it as a cloche to sort of keep the humidity in your seed trays or warm the soil up. So these are white sweet peas. It doesn't actually give a name, it just says white sweet peas. And these were all sown at the same time as all these seeds here. But I keep looking for, that's the seed there. And I keep looking for signs of germination, but there's nothing happening, and I've had them covered up and that. So you know what I'm going to do with these ones? I'm going to give them some bottom heat. And by that I mean I'm going to put them on a heated mat. I've got a very basic heated mat. It hasn't got a thermostat on. It wasn't really expensive, and I've had it for years and years and years. And what it does is literally that. You put your heated mat down and you plug it in, and it just gives a very gentle warmth. And then you put this whole tray on the heated mat and you leave it there until the soil warms up and the seeds germinate, because that's the only reason I can think why these sweet peas aren't germinating. I've never sown sweet peas before. I can't remember sowing them. So if anybody does sow sweet peas in the autumn and you can give me any tips, I would really appreciate that. So I'll go in the garage and I'll get my heated mat. Right, so we are in my section of the garage, which always looks messy like this. But it is organised. So all my pots are washed and I just keep them on this old shelving unit here, so I can immediately see where I've put my heated mat. So I'll show you what that looks like. Death trap in there. Right. So it's very difficult to do this one-handed, but when I get it out, it's quite stiff. But when I plug it in, it warms up. It'll go nice and soft and flat. Right, so because my greenhouse doesn't have electricity, and neither does the greenhouse that used to belong to my late father-in-law, who used to live around the corner. My mother-in-law still does, and I use his old greenhouse, but that doesn't have any working electricity. But I do know that the hut that he has next to his greenhouse, that does have electricity. So that's where I'm going to plug the heated mat in. I'm going to take all of these round now. I think what I'll do is I'll put them in these little trays here to carry them round in the wheelbarrow. Right, so I've got this old crate. I'm going to carry all the sweet peas round in the wheelbarrow in this crate so that they don't spill out all over the place. I'm also going to take round all these little cloches as well, because even though they're going to be on the heated mat, I still want to lock in all that humidity. Right, so we are round in my father-in-law's hut now, and this is the only window in the hut, and the only bench. So there's the plug. So I'm going to lay this out, plug it in, let it warm up for an hour so that it's nice and flat, and then I'll put my seeds on it. The windows are a bit scruffy, so I'm going to give those a clean to let as much light through as possible. And I just have to work with what I've got. I'll show you the greenhouse. So this is his old greenhouse that I use, and at the moment I'm overwintering lots of pelargoniums and fuchsias. Got some Nemesia begonias that are coming to the end of their flower, and then I'll decide what to do with those, whether I leave them in the pots or whether I take them out and store them in cardboard boxes. But it's a wonderful space. I'm so lucky to have it. These are impatiens, which they're still in bud, still flowering. I've brought my beautiful big blue salvia in here. But even though it's got a socket on the wall, there's no electricity working in here. The electricity works in the hut. So I know that you may be saying, oh, there's not enough light in here to germinate your seeds, but actually that's just what I want them to do. I just want them to start growing, and then as soon as they do that, I'll immediately move them into that bright light of the greenhouse, because then they won't need the bottom heat any longer. So here goes. Plug it in. I always worry that it's not going to work one year, but it always does because it just gets stored in the garage for a whole year. So I'll just give it a helping hand by putting some pots on one end. Oh, that's not even going to help. Right, that's it. I'll just wedge it down with things. And we'll come back in about an hour's time. Oh yes, I think I can feel some heat coming through already. Or is it just my imagination? Right, I'm going to give the windows, a wash. Oh, I thought the muck was on the outside, but I don't think it is. I think it's on the inside. So these windows haven't been washed since, well, he died in 2008, and I've been using the greenhouse since then, and I've never washed them. He was always meticulous. Right, I'll go on the inside and I'll give them a wash and see what a difference it makes. If you hear a scream, it's because they've seen a spider. Okay. Oh, yes. Oh, look at that. Let all the light in. So yes, I know light's important. And normally I would have this heated mat in my conservatory, but we have a large dog who visits with a very waggy tail and a 3-year-old now who loves to play in there. So it's just not practical anymore to have the floor covered in seed trays. And I also know that these sweet peas would germinate so quickly in the spring if I just waited. But you know, I love having young seedlings in the greenhouse over the winter. I've said this many times, I get more use out of my greenhouse than my father-in-law's greenhouse over the winter months, sort of late September until next April, May, than I do over the summer months, because in the summer it just gets far too hot in there, even with all the doors and windows open. And I know if I grew tomatoes and things like that, which I don't, then you need that heat in your greenhouse. But oh, that's wonderful. Much better. Oh, I love it. I wish I'd cleaned them before. Right, so actually it's only 10 minutes since I plugged this mat in and already it's warm. Not too warm, but right, this is good. I've just found this in the hut. So you get a drip tray with no holes in, and then you get little seed trays with cloches that fit and a little ventilation flap over the top. So I've got loads of packets of seeds that I want to sow, so I'll use that then. But in the meantime, I'll go and get that tray of sweet peas. Here we go. Oh, excellent. I'm so excited about this. So I'll just put that there for the moment. You know what this has inspired me to do? I'm going to go around and get all the other packets of seeds that I want to sow, and I'm going to put them in here as well, because although this window is east facing, I think it's going to be fine to germinate the seeds. And then, like I say, once they're germinated, you can move them off the bottom heat and put them in your greenhouse or your porch or wherever. When I look through the camera lens, it looks a lot darker through the camera than it does here in real life. It's quite bright actually. So there we go. We'll just have to wait and see what happens to these little seeds. But if you're interested, then do come back and visit the channel again. I would love that. And I will be doing videos right throughout the winter. There's always something to see or do in the garden. And I will update you on things that I've done in the past, including what happens with these seeds. So yes, I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.